Up first, though, meteorologist Marla Branson is helping you prepare for your Wednesday. And Marla, just a smidge of fog out there, right? Even though North Carolina's legislative session is over, there could still be more Moral Monday protests. In new details this morning, protest organizers are now calling for more of those demonstrations all across the Tar Heel state. Thousands, including many teachers, marched in Raleigh on Monday. They protested the new budget's impact on education, and organizers have plans to hit the pavement protesting next month in other cities. The year of credit monitoring protection is almost over in South Carolina, so right now the state is really working to find a new way to protect you after last year's data hack. The State Budget and Control Board gave the state permission to start the bidding process yesterday. Whichever company wins the bid will provide monitoring services after Experian's contract ends in October. The General Assembly, by the way, has earmarked $10 million for that new contract.
Well, listen to this story. A Florida woman's going to keep a much closer eye on her purse the next time she goes to the beach, and here's why. Her and her two daughters, they were watching this turtle being released into the Gulf of Mexico. They decided to go to the water to watch the animals swim away. It was a very peaceful moment for them. But when she looked back on shore, she couldn't believe what she was seeing. Well, the raccoon, there he goes, the culprit right there. The raccoon ran off into the woods with her purse. She was able, though, to actually find her wallet, and everything was still inside. Obviously, the
what's he
raccoon
going to do with a credit card?
Can I get some money out of here, maybe? Okay, this probably is my favorite story today.
Right.
This guy's going to rethink his approach, of course, when it comes to complaining about a fast food order. A Georgia man ordered 7 hamburgers from McDonald's. Now, when he left the restaurant, he got back to his car. He noticed a burger was missing.
What?
How dare them? Now, instead of going back into the McDonald's and saying, hey, you guys messed up, he called 911. Yeah, it is a crime, folks. Like, we have to explain this. I don't know why we have to say this so often, but the customer spent the night in jail, and he was charged with a misdemeanor.
Last time it was about pickles, wasn't it?
It was about pickles. Come on, people, get with it.
Right now, police in South Florida are trying to find some thieves who stole from a liquor store by actually shoving bottles into their clothes. The woman was seen stuffing bottles in her purse and then down her dress, while the man put some in his pants. Police say an accomplice was able to check out the area before they got there to see if any employees were actually watching. And these were pretty pricey bottles as well. We're talking $96 a piece. A college student is going to get $4.1 million after he was left in a holding cell for days with no food or water. Daniel Chong was swept up in a Drug Enforcement Administration raid in California back in April. Well, DEA agents took him into custody and then forgot about him in that cell for 5 days. Wow, Chong is going to be receiving that money as part of a settlement that he reached with the DEA. Well, even more financial woes for the Motor City. Dwayne Proviance is suing Detroit for police misconduct because he spent 9.5 years in jail for a murder conviction that was later thrown out. A panel recommended the city settle with him for $5 million a few years ago, but the city didn't want to pay that much. So now this case is still stuck in the courts, and it's now even more complicated because, as we previously told you, Detroit has filed for bankruptcy. Today's one of those days where the early bird is going to get the worm when it comes to enjoying the weather. I know, Marla, we've got a good start out there, not too shabby, but things are definitely changing later, right? Yeah, we'll have an update for everybody tomorrow morning, that's for sure.
Thank you.
It's now 6:40. New details this morning as a couple is accused of stealing luggage in the aftermath of the Asiana Airlines crash. Prosecutors say they took the luggage of passengers who were diverted from San Francisco after the July 6th crash landing. Now, one of the suspects worked as a customer service representative for United Airlines. Police say the two were caught after trying to return some of those items found inside the stolen luggage to Nordstrom's for some cash. After months of going back and forth, issues for the Calypso Inn could be finally over today. I'll explain what's happening to get this place safe and up to code for renters. Right now, a great start out there, maybe even cool if you're a bit inland. And Marla, I feel like it's wrong when I say cool for an August day. Restaurants in Charlotte are saying, show me the money or no service. You see, there's a growing problem of people leaving without paying their bills, so places like Mortimer's Pub is asking for debit or credit cards before people actually get their meal. One police report shows someone racked up a $99 bill of alcohol and ran off. Another restaurant is now thinking of jumping on the bandwagon as well.
New details this morning on the busiest time of the year in the Grand Strand. Hard to believe, but we are less than a month away from the end of the official tourist season. And WMBF News reporter Alex Holly is live with how tourism season kind of shaping up. You know, Alex, despite the things that have been working against us this year, we've got the economy, we've got the weather. I got to say, I mean, these numbers are pretty surprising.
Right now, a fox is being tested by a state lab in Maine after attacking 5 people. Now, it's possible the fox might have had rabies, which means those people would have to get a shot. The attacks all started when the fox bit a man sitting in his truck, and then it attacked a morning jogger and 2 campers. Can you imagine being chased by a fox? Well, it started off going after a 5th victim who was able to trap it. State health officials are still waiting on the results of rabies tests on that fox. New details this morning as 2 police officers we told you about who had been arrested for robbery have now been released. You see, the 2 Detroit officers are accused of pistol whipping some men and then robbing them of a cell phone and some money. But they were released because by the law, they could not be held any longer while prosecutors review warrants against them.
The weekend's going to be fine. You just might want to have that backup plan just in case we get a summertime storm.
South Carolina summers, Plan B weather.
Yeah, planning
all the
is
time.
always key. That's for sure.
There it is.
Important stuff. Yeah.
Anything going on the commute this morning?
Yeah, you might want to have a plan B for your commute because there's an accident right now, right along Highway 501. It's at Gardner-Lacey Road. Didn't get to check if it's on the beachbound lanes or on the southbound lanes, but either way, there's going to be onlooker delays, so you definitely want to avoid that area if you can.
That's a
Highway
mess.
501
That's a tough spot.
That is a tough spot.
That is one of the worst spots to have an issue like this. All right. Live local late breaking updates available on our website, WMBFnews.com.
Thanks so much for joining us this morning. We will see you back here in 25 minutes for another live update. Have a good morning.